All right, episode 68 of the Super Parent Syndrome, and I am your host, Dr. Nick Fanning. I want you to sit back, relax, get away of all the distractions. Today, we are going to talk about simplifying yourself. Sit back and relax.
Parenting in the 21st century is ever evolving, and while you balance work, kids, and your sanity, it's easy to feel discouraged. Welcome to the Super Parent Syndrome with your host, Dr. Nick Fanning.
All right, so naturally, this is the very first thing we're going to talk about is simplifying yourself. Not yourself, but yourself, your body, your host that your mind and your soul sit in. And the reason why we're doing this one first is that this is where we get power from. This is where we get our motivation for the day. Now, this is a premise that was taught to me by my coach from Wake Up Warrior, and his name is Garrett J. White. And I want to spread that message to you folks. And guys and ladies, I would recommend that you actually go seek out his services. It's absolutely fantastic. But however, this is the free version, okay? So I want you to pay attention. We get, in our bodies, we can have one of two things. We can either have it be used as a tool, meaning that it is functioning how we want it to, or we'll become a slave to it, meaning that if we get sick, we are held hostage by what our body and what our health is doing. Okay, so you have one of two choices. Either you are creating a tool out of your body, or you're going to become a slave to that body. So, even in the Bible, it talks about, you will have no masters above me. And here you are treating your body, should be treating it like a temple, but at the same time, you're treating it in a way where you actually might end up being a slave to it. And where therefore you're going to have to treat it as if it has all the control over you. Because unfortunately, with some of the lifestyle decisions that we're making, that could be it. That could be the honest truth. Okay. Now, so here's the thing. We know, everybody out there already knows what they should be doing. He might not have actually as specifics about how you're going to do it, but you know what you should be doing. We know that we should be exercising, and we know that we should be eating differently. Okay, now if we come down to these two things, we have to make it super, super simple. And the reason why I want you guys to have basically kind of a win for the day. So every single day, I want you to sweat. Okay, now that sweat can be in different forms. Okay, and when you're taking care of that body, and you get to sweat, so you're going to be doing anything from walking. 30 minutes walking, okay, and you're going to get a sweat going at some point. You're going to be doing weightlifting training, swimming, biking, playing with the kids, cleaning the house. Cleaning the house, if you break a sweat and you're pushing yourself, that can be a workout as well. So there's no excuses why we shouldn't even be able to just get a sweat. For some of you, getting a sweat involves getting up off the couch, going to the fridge, getting a beer, and going back, and then you're out of breath, okay? And unfortunately, sometimes people are going to have to start there. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to start small. I don't want you rewriting the whole, your whole existence being like, tomorrow I'm going to start CrossFit, and you haven't worked out for 5 days. No, what I want you to worry about is just getting started. Meaning, if you don't know what to do, you walk. Okay. I want you getting used to actually just spending the time to move your body. Okay. And for some people, it's as simple as putting workout clothes on and doing deep breathing exercises for 10 minutes and then changing out of their workout clothes. And I'm in all seriousness, for some folks, that's hard enough. If that's where you're starting, that's what you're going to do every single day. You're not going to back down from that. That's going to be your simple, no retreat type of work. And if you're working on getting 1% better, hey, that's how it is. For some of you, it might be, hey, I'm going to walk around the block. I'm going to walk around 2 blocks. I'm going to walk at Walmart where it's safe, dry, and there's nothing to trip over. For some of you, you're going to add some jogging in. You can download apps that will help you with that. You can look online and just say, give me a running program, couch to 5K, or, what should I do as far as workouts go? And you're going to see like, hey, I remember doing a push-up. I remember doing a sit-up. I remember doing those. You can be a super simple. Otherwise, for some of you guys a little bit more advanced, maybe it's actually getting a trainer and having somebody meet with you once a week or even more and pushing you outside your comfort zone. But either way, what I want you to do is I want you to improve whatever you're doing by 1%. Now, obviously, the tone of this podcast has been very kind of like beginner oriented, but for some of you advanced folks, it really comes down to maybe having somebody hire and training you and saying, okay, what can we do to tweak? Maybe you might say like, what, I've always wanted to deadlift. I've never deadlifted. Help me doing that and learning that. Okay, that can be your 1%. Whatever it is, you're going to look at that. Now, as far as the way you fuel your body, okay, we have to get rid of the emotional attachment of food, and that's incredibly tough. And so what I'm going to say is at this point, I don't want you to tackle that quite yet. In fact, what we're going to do is called the undiet. We're going to only add in healthy things, okay? Keep eating the crap that you're eating, okay, because I don't want you stressing about this. But before you do that, I want something healthy. So for example, let's say I was just talking to somebody this guy was like literally, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was telling me about one of his patients, and he was saying like this guy would like buy a birthday cake and eat it on the way home, an entire birthday cake. Okay, so what he said is like, hey, you know what? Do what you want. You actually eat until you're physically sick, and that's your kind of your internal struggle that you have. So what you're going to do instead, you're going to have 2 cups of lettuce, and then you can have your birthday cake. But all you're going to do is you're going to fill your body up just a little bit with good stuff, or actually trying to get some of that satiety from something that's actually healthy. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about. Is I want you to do the undiet. If you're going to, slam down a pizza, you're going to have a salad beforehand. Or let's say you're going to have, this hot dog, palooza or whatever you're going to do. You're going to have a cup of broccoli first. You're going to do the undiet, which means fresh fiber first, then you're going to eat. Okay, or any cooked vegetables. I don't even start with there, but vegetables or fruit first, and then you can do whatever the heck you want. Start there, and you're going to start seeing your body change. But you have to be committed. You have to be consistent. I'm not saying that you're going to do this for 1 meal a day. I want you doing this anytime you're going to do something unhealthy. You give yourself a nice little boost or a nice little win of saying like, you know what? Yeah, I had 2 hamburgers, but at least first I had a cup of cauliflower, or I had a carrot stick before I had the chocolate. Or, I know I'm a pop junkie. I'm going to have a bottle of water before I have my bottle of Coke. Do you see how this works? You're just having something healthy first before you do normally. I had particularly a guy who was an alcoholic, was drinking the 5th whiskey. And so what we said is before you have every glass, you have to have a rocker glass of water as well. And so and what we ended up having, instead of a 5th of whiskey every night, he was only drinking about 1/3 of a bottle. Now, was he completely better? But knowing that short time that I was able to work with him, we cut things down by 2/3. That's monumental. That's the impact that you're going to make long term. And what I mean by that is as we continue improving only 1%, that's your goal. 1%. What am I going to do 1% better for my body? And for some of you folks, it could be the fact of like, hey, you know what? I just need to stretch more. I need to pay attention to my posture. I need to see the dentist because I've been putting that off. I'm going to see the eye doctor because I've been putting that off. I'm going to go see Dr. Nick because he's the bomb chiropractor, and I'm going to get my nervous system and spine in tune. Heck yeah, come see me. But at the same time, you're going to go outside of what you normally have been doing to do that. And like I said, every single day you need to sweat. Some days when you're injured, you need to do something towards getting that better. So like, let's say you pull a hamstring. Well, then you might have to go to the PT. You might have to go to the personal trainer and get some stretching done or some ice therapy or some sort of therapy to help you recover from that injury. That counts instead of sweating in case you have that type of thing. Okay. But no matter what, every day you're moving moving that needle closer and closer to your ideal self. So I hope this hit home. I want you to do a couple things. One, I want you to grab your journals, and I want you to write out what is one thing that I can be doing 1% better for my body? Is it in term of, darn train, I'm going to edit this out. So I want you guys to grab your journals, and you're going to do one of 3 things. 1, white belt level. You're going to write down, hey, this is one way I can do to improve my body by 1%, whether it's in the form of fuel, in the form of fitness, or in the form of recovery. If you are a blue belt, I want you to take your pen and paper and I want you to write out either a meal plan, an exercise plan, or a recovery plan for the week. And if you are black belt level, you are going to schedule this time out. It doesn't have to be long, remember that. But you are going to schedule at least 20 minutes of workout. Okay? That's the big thing. You're going to schedule that. Or recovery time. You're going to be like, hey, I got to drive all the way to Ogallala, get adjusted, drive all the way back home. But it's in my schedule. Okay. Or I'm going to call that dentist that I've been putting off. Okay. Either way, that's going to be a massive action step. Not only will you have a journal about what you need to do, you'll have an exercise plan or a food plan or a recovery plan. And then also for the black belts, you have an actual action step of either scheduling it or calling and scheduling it. So get to it, folks. This is how you improve every single day. Signing off.
Thanks for listening to another episode of The Super Parent Syndrome. Please be sure to visit peptalksforparents.com for more content and our free newsletter. And remember, you are not alone.